Hi, I'm Claus Testrup, working at Aarhus University in Denmark at Center for Teaching Development and Digital Media. And that's what we do, try to change education using digital media. And today I'm going to talk a bit about consent and trust and ethics in action when you're working together with kindergarten teachers, children and parents. It's based on my practical research over the years. And you, who might be a preschool teacher watching this, well, the point is not that you take over my points of view, but use them as a starting point for you deciding on how you want to do things in your kindergarten. So see it in that perspective. Well, consent has always been in place. The preschool teachers have known where the research was stored, what it was used for, and whenever I wanted to use a picture or a video, put a video online or use a picture in a book or in a slideshow, I asked for permission and got it. They were the ones who decided if I could get a yes or no. But there's one thing I think is even more important. And that's a question of trust. The parents trusting me as a researcher or trusting the preschool teacher using images. And I have an example of how one could do that. One day I came into a kindergarten, and there in the main room there were hundreds of pictures hanging on the wall, printouts from images from the cameras, hundreds of them. And I asked the preschool teacher, why all these amazing pictures, why are you doing this? And he said, well, in this way the parents see what I'm talking about. They can see the kid in everyday pedagogical activities in the kindergarten. They can see what kind of images it is that I'm talking about when I'm talking about images. They can see what we are using it for. So I can start conversations about the life in the kindergarten and the projects I'm doing now. So the parents see by themselves what the result of the research can be, these pictures. So they know what they are. I've been in situations where some parents in the group didn't want their kids to be on Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat or WhatsApp or whatever you can call it. And that has been respected, obviously. And it wasn't a problem in the everyday practice, because what happens outside the kindergarten is one thing, but what happens inside the kindergarten is something else. So in there, in the rooms of the kindergarten, everybody involved, all kids can take pictures, look at them, talk about them, use them, including those kids who are not allowed to be on Facebook. Let's say it's more difficult. Let's say some of the kids, it's like this, that you're not allowed to take pictures of them at all, not even inside the kindergarten. Well, They can be the ones who take the pictures. They can still be involved in talking about pictures. They can still be involved in drawing drawings on the images if that's what the activity is about. It can be even more difficult. In one kindergarten, it was not allowed to take any pictures of the faces of the kids. Well, there was a lot of pictures taken from behind. There was a lot of pictures of hands doing stuff. Beautiful pictures, I think. Showing again what the kids were doing, focusing on the activities and the materials and the tools. So there are many ways around it. This situation where some parents might not like it or understand it or want it for whatever good reason, that the kids are taking pictures of or being put out there on social media. An example that I think is quite good for showing this, what one can do, is a preschool teacher who did a music video. And on Friday evening, she showed the music video for all the parents in the kindergarten, and Saturday, or a day later or something like that, she put up a version of the music video online where those kids who were not allowed to be taken pictures of were not in it. So it existed in two versions. The one inside, one outside. This about inside and outside, that's an important distinction to make. I see, so to speak, the borders of the kindergarten as a membrane. Things get out, things get in, things enter, things leaves, but whatever it is that enters and whatever it is that leaves, that depends on the preschool teacher and the kids. Of course, in the end, it depends on the preschool teacher. But there's somebody who's making decisions about it. So that leads me to another example. In kindergarten, they were using Instagram as part of their pedagogical work. They do have, the kindergarten has an open Instagram profile. Everybody can follow it. And when they were using the profile, the kids were and the preschool teacher were meeting around a table, looking at a big screen to see what was going on. So they looked at the pictures at the Instagram profile. They talked about it. And the preschool teachers asked questions like this. Should we comment on this picture? Should we click that we like it? Should we just leave this picture? Does this picture have anything to do with what we are doing right now? And based on that, they had discussions around the pictures. So on the fly, in the situation, the preschool teacher was making the judgment in the end, but involving the kids into it. Another one that can show this membrane thing where the preschool teacher is the one who makes the decisions if needed is another preschool teacher who were using YouTube. He was at one point making a small project with the girls in the kindergarten, and it was about finding and looking at female singers and talking about which one they liked the best, among other things. And he said like this, well, they soon found out how to use YouTube. Soon found out how to use it. And then he said, I could step back a few meters and let them go on by themselves. I didn't have to engage in it. I didn't have to go into it. I could just be there and see what was going on, observing what they were talking about, observing what they were watching. And if sometimes they looked for another video, he could say, no, that video we're not going to watch. And then they didn't do it. They watched something else. The thing about Instagram and YouTube could also point to another question about, how do we deal with that out there on Facebook or whatever? There are fake news, there are shitstorms, there are inappropriate uses of social media. And I think there are two ways of approaching it. One is the negative way, the no way, the more afraid way to say, no, we don't want to use this, or we have to tell the kids they should be very careful. And of course, they must be careful. It's logic. But there's also another way of thinking this, and that is, what is it that we want to do there? I mean, to show the kids, yourself, and the world that fake news and shitstorms are not good would be to do something else. And that could be like asking questions like this. What do we want to tell? What do we want to show? The telling thing could be like, well, if three boys wants to show the families that have been collecting Christmas trees for the kindergarten, well, that's it then. Or it could be like, we've seen a video, couldn't we make our own version of this video? That is, you remember, for instance, the Gangnam Style one, that was at one point very famous. A lot of kids were dancing Gangnam Style, and you could do that. Okay, let's make our own version of the Gangnam Style with our own sequences into it, with our own ways of moving around. Let's make that, edit it, and show it to the parents. So that's telling, that's showing. But it could also be like looking for, trying to find out stuff. Let's say, I saw another example in a kindergarten where they were looking for how to do some certain Christmas decorations, and they did find a YouTube's video on YouTube, a do-it-yourself video, and they talked about what materials were used, what tools were used, how did they do it, how could we do it, should we do the same thing as they did in this video, or should we do it a bit different, what materials do we have? And they were not only looking at, they were also themselves using, changing, transforming it to activities that meant something for themselves. And that could have been turned into a new do-it-yourself video by this kindergarten about how they would do this Christmas decoration, putting it out there on YouTube to show and tell, based on something they wanted to find out, something they wanted to know. So maybe there it is. Show the world a way to using media by doing it, transforming what you've seen to something else. Maybe on, if you look at an even bigger perspective, it's also about being a global citizen, not only looking for, trying to find out, but also engaging in somebody else, somewhere else in the world who might think or live or act differently or partly differently from the way we do here, a group of kids in this kindergarten. And maybe a way of engaging could be start asking, how do they do stuff? How do we do it? How do we do our day? How do we do music videos? How do we play in the playground? What kind of plays, gaming do we like? Shouldn't we show somebody else how we do that? Shouldn't we look at some of the others, how they do it? Maybe we become clever in that way. Maybe we learn new ways of playing. So we're far away from shitstorms. We're far away from images maybe being seen as dangerous, confusing, and turning it into a situation where kids and the preschool teacher together find ways of using it, or leaving it for that matter. That's also a choice. No, we don't want to deal with this or look at this. Well, that might be it, for the moment at least. Maybe you can use this for some discussions with yourself or some of your colleagues on how one could think of digital media, images and videos in pedagogical work. See you.